Morning traders, we're looking at the S&P 500. I've got some chart analysis for you. I've got some scalping levels for you. Hang tight. I'm going to show you where you may have some counter trend trades and where you may get some fast moves to the upside. Hang tight. Please like my video. Please subscribe to the channel to help grow it. And if you have questions or comments, please add them below and I'll be happy to respond to them. Let's do it. Good morning. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 futures market, the ES and the micro ES for 5/29/2019, and we're looking at the weekly chart right now. Overnight we have dropped another, say, 10 points, and we kind of just drifted lower, and we're now trying to get a little bit of bounce. We came right into this low volume node. Let me see if I can make that come to the front right there. And we're right into this little tiny gap that's hard to see. And it made it all the way down onto the top of this node right here, and this is where the bounce is. So low volume area right here, got a quick bounce back up. We're starting to test bigger volume up here, and we'll look at this in the other charts here. But looking at this on the large time frame, if we were to get more weakness today, we've already kind of tested the top of this. We've got this area of 2766 that you have a big gap in, with the top of the node at 2757, and I think that's pretty much the range extreme for the day. So it could be a fast move down if we go back down below this node, just because there's a lack of volume in this area. You have a huge node down here at 2738, which I would definitely think would cause a big bounce, but I think it's totally outside of range today. Looking at the daily chart here, so we've broken down outside of this range. If we were to kind of try and envision something, we've kind of come down and tested the top of this pivot right here on this candle. In previous videos I've talked about opposing pivots, opposing candle wicks, whatever you want to call them, and this could potentially be one right here, because we came right down into it, touched it, it's the top of this volume node, and bouncing. So what you could see, right, when you see breakdowns, they kind of break down and then they bounce back up, and they come back and they test the breakout point, and that would be kind of in line with the top of this volume node. And it'd be pretty tough to get over this volume node. It'd take quite a bit of buying power, but the bulls can do it. But just to kind of have that kind of vision of where you might travel to, you might come back up and test this. So might be a buying opportunity. Go in the other direction. Just realize that this may be somewhat of a grind to go through that area to get back up to what's looking like 2800. After that, you've got a volume node at 2813, and then a much bigger node here at 2819. So daily extreme here, ATR is sitting at 3692, 37 points. We had not a huge volume day yesterday, surprisingly for the sell that we had, but 2820 is your high, 2749 is your low. Those actually line up pretty good with other structure here. Down here you have the two pivots, and up here you have the bottom of this pivot and across this trading area right here. You can see the tops, bottoms, tops. So those look like they line up pretty good also. 240 minute. Not sure there's anything to really talk about on the 240. For some reason my chart's not loading this little bit of data right here, but you've got like a little cluster right here, but all your volume is really up here at the bottom of this pivot right here, 2805, which is a little bit higher than the 2800, which matches that pivot and that pivot right there. And I definitely think that there would be a bounce off of the 2800 level and another bounce off of the 2805. So you got two levels that are backing each other up right there. 60 minute. As you can see, we've built a little cluster of volume down here that we're trying to get back up and over right here. You've got kind of like a 2792 is the bottom of that range, and then the top of that, which matches up with the bottom of this one, which looks like a really good spot, is the 2800. So we keep on coming back to that 2800 number for the bottom of the pivots, and you see another pivot right here. You see a pretty good amount of volume considering this move. You know, this has got the most volume right here in this little cluster, so that could be a good spot for a short. Up above that, it gets pretty thin. You can see that they tried to hold it right here at 2815, but this is all pretty thin all the way up to 2826. The prime spot is 2828 with the real high volume node, and then 2831. You've got two levels here close to each other, backing each other up. So if somehow you manage to get all the way back up there, you might be able to take this bottom one and know that you've got another level right behind it to kind of help keep the market down. Volume wise, all the volume was at the end of the day in that candle right there that kind of finished things off. So not comparatively not a super strong day yesterday considering the move. Intraday, you can see that we have sold off right about midnight, and then we just kind of drifted. They've been trying to hold this market. Plunge protection team will probably show up here and want to get this at least up above this structure, but I would also think that they would want to try and get it back close into the 2800 level and try and get people on board. But then again, it may, that's another 12 points. They may not be able to get that in the morning, considering, look at these guys sitting right here on the level 2, kind of keeping pressure on the market. We're down at a negative 7,000 already on the delta. And so they took another 25,000 kind of off yesterday. So definitely the sell pressure is on. So keep that in mind. That doesn't mean that they can't reverse things. You should keep a neutral mind to the market. Because it's a game that they play, right? They play in these levels as much as we are, looking at them and trying to buy and sell against these big levels. They know where the volume is, just like we do, and they're going to play those levels just like we are. Bigger time frame, 8,000 tick. Again, all the volumes right here in this node between 2800 and 2805, so kind of watch those areas. You've got this 2792 area, which is the bottom of this little cluster node, and yeah, I think they'll push it up. I think they'll just keep on buying here, even though it certainly looks like the sellers are putting a lot of pressure here. they're going to need to push it pretty hard. On the symmetry here, you had this range, you got 100% range extension when you fell out of this range. Comes back up, touches it perfectly, breaks out of this range, you get 100% range extension here, and now we're just kind of fighting to get back and test the top of this range. The 2792, you can see that you got like a nice little bottom pivot right here, and it really hasn't been fully tested by these other two, so I don't know if where we'll be at the open, because it's only 4:17 in the morning, but you could get a bounce off of that too. This looks like a pretty decent area, but 2800's, it's got the opposing, it's got two pivots here and a pivot here, so you've kind of already rejected. Look at the rejection that you got off that level. So it looks pretty good. I'm just curious, go back and take a look real quick. Yep. So I've got a line already in here at the 2800 level, right across the top and across the bottom of these. And you can see that's right between the two volume nodes. Kind of taking the average, right? And it fits right there. So it looks pretty good. And this one's at 2793. It's a little bit up against this volume right here. Anything else? Not really. So good luck in your trading today, and we'll see you in the afternoon. Take care.